Hey, it's Todd, Red River Tactical and Outdoors. Today we're going to look at the Ruger PC Carbine in 9mm. I've been looking at this gun for a long time. This gun is not mine. A friend of mine had this gun, brought it out to the range. Been shooting it a little bit and thought I'd do a video on it. This gun, now Ruger is a whole lot more, Ruger is a lot better than Cal-Tec, okay? I know that right out of the gate. But I kind of compare this Ruger carbine to the Cal-Tec Sub 2000. None of you out there might want to compare that, but I kind of compare it with it. And I got the Sub 2000 here. We'll look at some of the differences and some of the things that make me compare it and all that here in a minute. One, it takes Glock magazines, and I did notice the magazine latch on this, the magazine release on this thing is way up here on the mag well. You can see it right there. Now, this causes a couple of issues with me. One, if I hold the gun like this right here, as I was doing a while ago, you accidentally unseat the magazine by just holding it right there. And that's just something that my hand automatically goes there a lot of times. So that was an issue. The other thing is when you're doing reloads, you'll see in the video, there's no mag release that you can hit with your trigger finger or your thumb over here, so you have to come up and release that mag, and also that it's not going to drop free. You got to pull that mag out and then put the new mag in. But the Cal-Tec Sub 2000 is not really good for tactical reloads either. I'll show you that in a minute. The charging handle on the Ruger I really like. It is reversible, and we've got it on the left hand side of the gun, which makes sense to me. And also the bolt hold open lever is right underneath the trigger guard, the bolt lock, so that's really easy to get to. So I like that about it. It does come with a Picatinny rail on top for mounting your red dot on, as you can see here. And it also comes with a small Picatinny rail on the bottom for putting the light on, which is great. I'm glad they did that. Another characteristic in this gun compared to the Cal-Tec Sub 2000, the Sub 2000 folds in half. This gun breaks down. So with the bolt lock back, you can hit this button right here. I've not ever done this, so twist it to the side, and this breaks down into two pieces. So it's about the same length as the Sub 2000 when it's folded up. To get that back on, you're just going to take it in there and lock it back. And Ruger recommends cycling the bolt 4 or 5 times, I guess, to seat it. And then you want to make sure there's not a whole lot of play in there. There will be a little play, but not a lot. The sights from the factory is on the upper portion of the gun, and it's a ghost ring, kind of an AR-15 style sight that's mounted onto the barrel, fully adjustable, and it comes with a threaded barrel. The good thing about this threaded barrel, it has an O-ring on it, so you can shoot this thing and the threaded part is not going to come loose. On the Sub 2000, you always have to check that because it comes loose a lot. So let's look. The Sub 2000 compared to the Ruger, the Sub 2000 is going to be a lot lighter, which you can see by looking at it. The Sub 2000 is quite a bit lighter, and the Sub 2000 is quite a bit shorter than the Ruger overall length. Like I said, the fold up part of it, it reminds me of the takedown of the Ruger. The Sub 2000 takes Glock mags along with the Ruger taking Glock mags. The Sub 2000, the bad thing about it that don't make it good for tactical reloading is the bolt don't lock to the rear. You can drop the mag easy, they drop free, but then you got to come with your offhand and cycle that bolt to get the reload done. So neither one of them is great for tactical reloads or reloading quick, but they're both, I like them both about the same as far as shooting. Shooting wise, both very accurate guns. And the 9mm carbine is very accurate out to 100 yards easy. So think I've about covered everything. This stock is extendable. I think it's got one piece right here that's in there, and I think that come from the factory like that. But I think you can add 4 or 5 more of these things on there to extend that stock out if you needed to. Myself, I like the short stock on it. It fits me good the way it is. The trigger on this thing also, the trigger's about 3.5 pounds. We put a gauge on it, and it gauged average right at 3.5 pounds. Where the Cal-Tec Sub 2000's got that plastic spongy trigger, and it gauged right at 6 pounds on average. So about half the trigger weight on this Ruger than that Cal-Tec's got. Like I said, nice little gun for plinking, doing stuff like that with. Wouldn't be a bad one for home defense either. For a truck gun, I don't know, it wouldn't be too bad for a truck gun. But it's got nice textured gripping on it, so it's not going to be sliding around in your hand. It feels like it's already stippled, so I like that about it. This thing's probably had, how many rounds you say this thing's had through it? 500? We've had about 500 rounds through it. No issues, but we did, I said no issues. We had no issues out of regular Glock magazines. We had this Glock 50 round magazine, and the first time in my life I ever seen a stovepipe and a double feed all at one time. And then we put it in the Cal-Tec Sub 2000, and it did the same thing in there. So it's gonna be a magazine problem, not a gun problem. But other than that, good little gun. Check it out. It's a Ruger PC Carbine in 9mm. If you have any questions or comments, drop them below. We'll try to answer them. This is Todd, Red River Tactical and Outdoors, reminding you to be safe and always be ready. I didn't say